Now at 9, the Parsons, Kansas Police Department hosts a memorial for a fallen K-9 officer. Plus, the city of Joplin introduces new firefighters and a new station. And Fort Scott organization hosts an event aimed at stopping human trafficking.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. The Parsons Police Department holds a memorial service for a K-9 officer 5 months after the dog's death. KOAM's Anthony Saviello attended the ceremony today and shows us just how much K-9 Kareem meant to his community.
We all interacted with K-9 Kareem, as he would wander through the police department. And certainly he was not a therapy dog, but the secondary benefit of having an exquisitely trained, animal like Kareem is that he also has a personality.
More than just a dog. The best word to describe K-9 Kareem: hero.
He was also cross-trained as a tracker. And so he could track evidence. He tracked lost kids. He tracked, missing seniors, who had dementia. So he truly was a guardian of the community.
After his untimely death in August, this memorial service can now provide closure to Kareem's fellow officers and community.
If you ever had the privilege of being loved by a dog, you know that God exists and that God is love.
It wasn't just the Parsons Police Department that was in attendance today to honor K-9 Kareem. The Cherokee County Sheriff's Office, as well as the Labette County Sheriff's Office and the Baxter Springs Police Department all attended to honor K-9 Kareem.
For Chief Spinks, waiting to have an official memorial was necessary to discover the truth behind K-9 Kareem's passing.
Nobody, wants to see any kind of criminal investigation or personnel issues drag out. But unfortunately, we want to follow the letter of the law. We want to make sure that we have all the facts.
Members of the general public joined law officers in paying tribute to a dog that served his community and who many call a hero. Reporting in Parsons, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
K-9 Kareem died in August due to heat stroke. The handler has since been fired, and a special prosecutor has been brought in to potentially charge that former handler. Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy joins us with a first look at your forecast.
Well, of course, it turned out to be another nice one for us today. 66 degrees, 20 degrees above where we should be. Average high is 46. 32 is where we started during the morning hours for us today. It looks pretty good outside. Temperatures kind of mid 40s to lower 50s. Not near as cold as we go through the overnight hours tonight. I think most of us will hang out kind of low to mid 40s for overnight lows. We do have clear skies, but clouds increasing out to our west along the I-35 corridor as our first little wave heads toward us as we go into Thursday. Much bigger wave back toward the west, which will affect us as we go into the weekend. Mild and windy days ahead, highs into the 60s. Rain chances increase over the weekend, so it's going to be a cooler and kind of a wet weekend as well. We're going to break this all down for you here in a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. Fort Scott residents today had a chance to learn about preventing human trafficking. The E3 Ranch Foundation and the Bourbon County Sheriff teamed up for a presentation themed around Be Alert. It teaches parents to stay vigilant on social media and understand how predators can exploit students through it.
So our message tonight is, as an adult, you don't have to be an expert in technology. You need to be an expert in the kid that you care about based on 3 words. It's all about the exploitation of vulnerability. That means you don't have to be an expert in technology. You need to be an expert in the kid you care about. Go. What can I do to keep their vulnerability from being exploited, understanding the role that their life online plays? And that's what we're here to talk about tonight.
Fort Scott students will also view a Be Alert presentation tomorrow and Friday. Well, it was a big day for the Joplin Fire Department. Not only did firefighters welcome new faces, but they also opened a new station. KOAM's Amber Jenkins was there.
7 new faces will begin serving as firefighters for Joplin. Their graduation marks the end of training as they start duty.
We started training 6 months ago on August 7th. It's always been in the back of my mind. The opportunity came up, got encouragement from my family, and so I knew this was the time to go for it.
Jared Baker originally worked in ministry, but with the support of his family, Baker became a fire cadet.
It wasn't easy. I had to learn a whole new vocabulary. I had to learn a whole new set of skills. I had to learn everything from the ground up. I'm as green as can be when it comes to firefighting.
In addition to new firefighters, John Miles was promoted to training chief. With 19 years of experience, Miles understands what it takes to be a firefighter.
I still remember when I was in their shoes. I still remember being that new guy that just wanted to learn everything. And I was very lucky. The guy that was in my current position when I was in their position was very passionate about the job. He did a great job of motivating us and showing us what we wanted when we got done with the academies and eventually throughout our career.
The day wasn't just about new faces, but new spaces as well. A ribbon-cutting ceremony was held to mark the opening of Station 7. 12 firefighters will be assigned to the $4.5 million facility, working 24-hour shifts as crews of 4. Station 7 location will serve as a resource for the industrial and hazmat needs. Reporting in Joplin, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
All right, let's pray, folks.
Well, the station and staffing are funded by the Public Safety Tax Initiative that was approved by voters in the November 2006 election. Gun Park in Fort Scott, Kansas has more trout today as the Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks continues its latest restocking effort there. The department has been stocking hundreds of trout since November, and it comes after the department made some changes to trout fishing in the state. The season used to start on November 1st, and now it starts December 1st and runs through March 31st. Officials say trout fishing is a great way to enjoy the outdoors.
We've been stocking trout since last November. It makes a great place for people to go. We've got great weather this week, and now we have a great thing for people to do. It's come trout fishing here in Fort Scott.
Yeah.
The department says the change in trout season comes after considering fish health and warmer water. Well, if the memory of a past relationship still bugs you, the Nature Reach program at Pitt State has an unusual fundraiser for you. Now is your chance to name a cockroach, mouse, or rat after that not so special someone no longer in your life, which will then be fed to one of the program's animal ambassadors.
No, it's not still alive. So we one of the reasons why we have to do the fundraiser is because it's pretty expensive to buy rats and mice. So we buy them in bulk. So it's usually over $1,000 when we purchase rats and mice to feed our birds of prey and our snakes. So any help we can get to raise funds to help feed our critters is going to be fabulous.
Well, if you're hungry to donate, check out our website, KOAMnewsnow.com, for more information. Well, coming up, how an outbreak of bird flu in California could increase the price of eggs in the 4 states. After previously impacting much of the country, bird flu cases are now boiling over in California, and that's creating hardships for poultry farmers in the Golden State's egg basket region and threatening to lead to potential price increases. Fox News' Ted Linder reports.
After triggering shortages that caused the price of eggs to skyrocket, bird flu outbreaks in the U.S. have yet to fly the coop.
Chickens were the leghorns.
The highly contagious virus is now devastating poultry farms across Northwest California in an area called the egg basket. This after the Golden State avoided earlier bouts that previously tore through farms, particularly across the Midwest.
So we have over 500,000 birds on this ranch, and all of them had to be euthanized.
Bird flu is extremely contagious for chickens, turkeys, and several species of wild birds. When cases are discovered, farmers must kill the entire exposed flock to try and keep the disease from spreading. Over the last 2 months alone, about a dozen commercial farms in California slaughtered more than 1 million birds.
In some of our buildings, the virus got to the birds so bad and so quickly, you walked in and the birds were just dead.
Wildlife experts say migratory birds like ducks and geese are responsible for helping the virus spread across the country. Some fear the risk for these outbreaks could increase over time. citing how altered weather patterns as a result of climate change are throwing off migration patterns and pushing ducks and geese closer to poultry farms.
There's no way I can stop the wild birds from coming through and leaving the disease behind.
California's state veterinarian is advising farmers to keep their birds indoors until June to try and prevent them from coming in contact with migratory birds.
The duck season is now. They're flying through California.
Ted Lindner, Fox News.
Weight loss can help people with type 2 diabetes reduce the levels of cancer-related chemicals in their blood. Researchers from the University of Bristol found diabetes patients who also had treatment for weight loss saw lower levels of 9 different cancer-related proteins. Diabetics face a higher risk of cancer, but doctors say the study shows dropping some pounds can help lower that risk. Substances a pregnant woman ingests can affect the mental health of children even 10 to 12 years later. Research published in the health journal PNAS Nexus found while caffeine, alcohol, tobacco, and marijuana all have links to mental health issues, alcohol use by pregnant women in particular showed a strong connection to future sleep problems and mental health issues for children ages 10 to 12. Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later in 2 days, Missouri Southern softball kicks off its season with a doubleheader. We'll hear how the team is preparing.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a nice one for us today as we wrap up the month of January. Crazy enough. In fact, January actually turned out to be a below average month. 16 days were below average. We had 10 above, 5 normal. We had that 2-week stretch really from the 14th all the way until about the 28th of cold temperatures. Had a high of 1 degree on the 14th, but we've been looking pretty good over the past couple days, and we're going to stay with the nice temperatures sticking around. Let's go outside. Here's our Cornell and Arts Entertainment Complex. We're looking at downtown Joplin. Looks pretty good across the region. Temperatures aren't bad. Not near as cold as what we have seen over the past couple nights. 46 Nevada, 48 in Neosho, Veneta 48. We have 49 in Chanute. We can go outside. Here's 7th and Rangeline sitting at 52. Southerly winds 5 to 10. Those are going to pump up as we go through the overnight hours. In fact, winds are going to be gusting by morning 30 upwards to 35 miles per hour at times. As we continue through the day, they stay decently windy, gusts right around 30. And even on Friday, not as bad, but still we're going to have winds gusting kind of in that 20 upwards to 30 mile per hour range. We look good right now, but we do have some clouds increasing in our far western counties. We have a weak little wave down through parts of western Texas. This is going to head toward us tomorrow. It's mainly just going to give us clouds, maybe a sprinkle, but a much stronger storm system behind it, the western part of the U.S. Big storm system, which is going to head toward us as we head into the weekend, and that will give us rain. So rain increases through the day on Saturday, mainly light, maybe a little bit of moderate rain. Light rain continues Saturday night into Sunday morning. All day Sunday, we have periods of light rain across the region into Sunday night, and then finally starts to taper off by the time we head into Monday morning. Rainfall is not going to be super heavy, but at least we'll get some. As of right now, still 3 days away, it looks like a lot of us will pick up half an inch upwards to about 3/4 of an inch. Until that occurs, we look pretty good. Clouds do increase through the night, mid and upper level clouds, mid 40s by morning. As we go through the day, we should get in here 60 by noon and then mid 60s during the afternoon. So a pretty good day, but it's going to be a little bit on the windy side. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy skies. We drop back upper 40s for overnight lows. And as we go into Friday, a lot more clouds, but still temperatures pretty good as we go into the mid 60s for highs. Day planner on your Thursday, 49 to start, 62 by noon. High temp right around 67 degrees. 66 on Friday. Rain, a little bit cooler as we go into the weekend, a little bit cooler to start next week. Back into the 60s next Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah, I like seeing those temperatures stay in the 60s.
Yeah, they look great.
Dip
really.
this weekend, but yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah, we'll take it. All right, thanks, Doug. Well, coming up, lawmakers on Capitol Hill unveil some plans to make college more affordable. We'll hear their ideas. For the fourth time in as many meetings, the Federal Reserve is holding interest rates steady. This keeps the Fed's benchmark lending rate at a 23-year high, even as Wall Street watchers are expecting rate cuts sometime this year. Some analysts predict a rate cut could come in March, but others say that could be delayed due to stronger than expected economic data and easing financial conditions. Well, lawmakers on Capitol Hill have some very unusual proposals to bring down the cost of higher education. And like most issues these days, there's very little bipartisan agreement. Fox's Jared Halpern has more from the White House.
As a society, it's time to face the music. We're scamming young Americans.
It's no secret college costs are spiraling out of control for most families. And now Republicans on Capitol Hill are looking to tackle that problem through a new bill, the College Cost Reduction Act, which would make significant modifications to how colleges and the student loan system operate. Among the biggest changes, holding colleges accountable for debt held by graduates who do not make enough money to pay down their loans. In other words, schools would be forced to pay up if those students ended up earning less than predicted.
The new economics of college have left millions of families across the country questioning what to do next. A Band-Aid simply won't do.
But Democrats are pushing back, pointing out that plan would leave schools with a mountain of debt. For example, the University of Southern California would be liable for about $170 million in fines under the new bill. Another controversial provision, putting a $50,000 cap on federal student loans for undergrads, which Democrats claim would leave half of all students without the help they need.
Most of the provisions only exacerbate the problem by limiting the students' access to federal loans and then pushing them to the only thing that's left, the predatory private loan market.
And the debate is expected to continue away from Capitol Hill. President Biden making student debt forgiveness a big part of his re-election campaign. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Up next, Mattel is getting in on the Super Bowl action by launching a new Barbie for whichever team takes home the Lombardi. Mattel is selling a Super Bowl Barbie for the first time, and you won't be able to get it until after the Chiefs and 49ers face off on February 11th in Las Vegas. That's because the special edition Big Game Barbie will come dressed in the winning team's jersey and hat. She'll also hold a foam finger with the Super Bowl logo. Orders for the winning team's version will get fulfilled, while the orders for the losing team will get refunded. It'll look weird with the little Taylor Swift Barbie and a 49ers, so the Chiefs better win. I had to say it. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports is coming your way. How Southwest Missouri election officials are gearing up for the Republican primary caucus. Plus, tech executives face tough questions from lawmakers and parents about measures to protect children online.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. This election year is going to look a little different in Missouri. KOAM's Samantha Walker tells us what voters need to know about what's changed.
Missouri voters may be used to voting in presidential primary elections, but that is changing.
Of course, the Missouri legislature did not reinstitute the presidential preference primary, so in the state of Missouri, we're going to be a caucus state this year.
Now Republican voters will have the opportunity to participate in a caucus on March 2nd.
I guess this is the first time in my recollection that we're actually having where we're going to count the votes for that candidate, and that candidate actually will be the one that wins.
On the day of the caucus, voters will choose which candidate they want to represent them.
If it is an individual that has less than 15% of the vote, that individual will actually drop out, and those individuals will be able to align themselves with one of the other candidates.
The Jasper County Clerk says the caucus serves the same purpose as a primary election.
You know, the whole purpose of the caucus is just like the primary. The Republicans pull the Republican ballot so they can choose who they want to be on the ballot in November as a Republican. Democrats do the same thing.
He says anyone wanting to participate in a Republican caucus needs to be prepared.
You're going to have to register to vote prior to the caucuses. If you show up and you're not registered, you will not be allowed to participate in the caucus.
In Carthage, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Well, to find more information about the upcoming caucuses, including locations in each county, go to our website at koamnewsnow.com. Well, voters in Carl Junction, Missouri will decide a school bond question on the ballot in April. If approved, Proposition Kids would provide $18.5 million for safety and security enhancements across the district, as well as building a new classroom and upgrading the school farm. Officials say it would not increase taxes for residents. Instead, it would be funded by selling general obligation bonds. Well, tech CEOs faced intense questioning from lawmakers today after parents came forward accusing social media companies of harming their children through unsafe policies. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor is in Washington with more on the story.
In a contentious hearing on Capitol Hill, the CEOs of the largest social media platforms took the heat from lawmakers over accusations their apps are dangerous and sometimes deadly for kids.
But you have blood on your hands.
Snapchat CEO says it's blocked over 700,000 users linked to drug deals, while the head of TikTok touted its family pairing tool that allows parents to filter content. But Meta's Mark Zuckerberg pushed back on the claim social media negatively impacts teens' mental health.
Mental health is a complex issue, and the existing body of scientific work has not shown a causal link between using social media and young people having worse mental health outcomes.
Yet looking on during the hearing Wednesday were parents who say their children died from social media harm.
Show them the pictures. Would you like to apologize for what you've done to these good people?
Zuckerberg goes on to apologize to the families for their suffering and says that's why Meta has invested billions in child online safety. But mother Rose Bronstein, whose teenage son committed suicide after being bullied online, wants more than an apology.
The way that we will see change and to make sure that that the CEOs are doing their part in making sure these platforms are safe is that when we see the death count drop.
The Senate has proposed several bipartisan social media safety bills in the last year, but only Snapchat and X, formerly known as Twitter, have expressed full support for at least one of them. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
We'll take a close look at these sonar images. It's hard to make out, but researchers say it could be Amelia Earhart's long-lost plane. Earhart and her navigator went missing nearly 87 years ago while trying to fly around the world. And now, Deep Sea Vision, a deep sea exploration company, says sonar imaging has revealed what may be her plane. The imagery was taken about 100 miles from Howland Island and is 16,000 feet below the surface. Hope they can bring it up. Well, a bit later, as Chiefs fans prepare for the Super Bowl, we sit down with a Joplin couple who has plane tickets to Vegas, but no tickets yet.
Well, it's definitely turned out to be a nice week so far. We've had the sunshine across the region and temperatures have been fantastic, mainly highs into the 60s over the past several days, which, hey, we will definitely take, especially what we saw over the past couple weeks being in the deep freeze. Looks good out there right now. We're seeing a nice shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. Tower cam downtown, looking off toward the northeast, very light breeze, but those winds will start to pick up a bit as we go through the overnight hours tonight. 42 in Stockton, Neosho's at 48, Carthage 46. We have Miami at 46, Pittsburgh 48, Parsons is sitting at 53 degrees. Let's go outside. Here's 7th, here's range line. Southerly winds will start to increase, but still temperature sitting at 52 degrees. Now we're talking miles per hour. We're going to have gusts kind of 30 to 35 by the time we head into the morning hours tomorrow, and still kind of in that 25 to 30 mile per hour range as we go into Friday. So it's going to get a little bit windy as we head into the next couple days, lasting all the way into the weekend. We have clear skies Clouds thickening up far western counties. These are mid and upper level clouds. These are going to push through tonight. We have this first little band going to rotate through. Not a lot of moisture. May get a sprinkle. That's it. Bigger storm system out across the Pacific Northwest and the West Coast. That will start to affect us as we go into the weekend. So let's jump into it. Rain increases through the daytime hours on Saturday. We have periods of showers Saturday night into Sunday morning. As we go through the day on Sunday, showers stick around, and then by Sunday night, they finally start to rotate out of here. Few leftover showers Monday morning, and then Monday afternoon is looking pretty good. Rainfall, not excessive, but we'll take what we can get. It looks like most of us, half an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit heavier once you get into our western counties. Until this occurs, we look fine. Clouds streaming across the area for us tonight into tomorrow morning, mid-40s. As we go through the daytime hours tomorrow, clouds kind of thicken, could get a sprinkle, near 60 by noon. Once we get into the afternoon, 65, 6, 7 degrees. Tomorrow night, not bad. We only drop back upper 40s, partly cloudy skies. As we go through the daytime hours on Friday, a lot of clouds, but I still expect we go into the mid-60s. And then Friday night, that rain starts to approach us from the west and working in by Saturday morning. All right, your day planner for your Thursday, 49 to start, 62 by noon, 66 by 4 p.m., high temp, right around 67 degrees. Let's go 66 on Friday. Friday's Groundhog Day. We're going to see a spring early or 6 more weeks of winter. I will promise you, because I know how the calendar looks, we'll have 6 more weeks of winter, no matter what the groundhog says. And then rain rolls in as we head into the weekend.
I don't like that determination.
Yeah, he's not very smart.
I know you're
Or
not
she.
a fan of them.
Yeah.
It's a marketing thing,
I know
you
it
know,
is.
but I do like that you put the little cute graphic on there with the eyes.
Yeah, I had a viewer send it to me asking if I was going to put it on. I was like, you know what? Good idea. I forgot.
You're a team player, Doug. All right, well, students at PSU held a Russ Rush to showcase some of the activities and organizations available on campus. The hallways of Russ Hall were filled with booths and more were on the back lawn. Event organizers say the day served as a great way for students to make some connections.
So there's a lot more effort in trying to connect people. I think Pitt State, both from our student organizations and from the institutional side, work really hard to get people connected, but this is a great opportunity to put everybody in one spot to bridge those gaps.
Organizers say they hope students use the day to find out about fundraisers, student organizations, and just have a good casual conversation that made them feel positive. Coming up in sports, Missouri Southern softball previews its 2024 season, which begins on Friday. Plus, Parsons and Erie wrestling meet in the battle on 59. John Dales has highlights from that and more up next.
Missouri Southern softball is ready for 2024. The Lady Lions hit the ground running. They play 5 games in 3 days this weekend in Hot Springs, Arkansas at the Ronnie Hawkins Mike McGee Memorial Tournament. Now, much like Missouri Southern baseball, the Lions softball team is coming off a fantastic 2023 season. They went 41-15 and hosted the D2 Central Regional Tournament. This year's group starts the season with 5 games this weekend, and after an off-season full of very competitive practices, Southern is ready to show what it can do in 2024.
Always striving to be 1% better every single day. The seniors that we graduated last year, they can without a doubt say they left it better than they found it, and I know that's what Kara, Yaz, and AD want to do this year as well. So it's striving constantly to be better than you were the day before, just 1% daily.
I can't wait to see how well we're going to mesh on the field. Here in practice, we're all together already, and just see the communication and what everyone does this weekend.
I mean, we have great pitching staff, great infield, great outfield. There's just every single 21 of us is capable of doing big things for the program.
Over to Southeast Kansas this afternoon in Parsons, the battle on 59 rivalry is renewed between the Vikings wrestling team and Erie. Erie facing Parsons in the battle on 59. on the road in front of the whole school. Plenty of Erie fans make the trip as well. Starting at 120 pounds, Mario Zakanis against Mark Tenebro. It's Zakanis who doesn't waste any time, goes straight for the takedown. That's 2 points. He eventually goes on to win by fall. Parsons out to a great start. Next up, 126 pounds, Fernando Zakanis against Taylor Holbert. Holbert gets the escape, then he gets the pin. Whistle blows and he wins by fall. Erie picks up 12 points. That puts the Red Devils in the lead. Now we go ahead, 157 pounds. Davey Summers against Dylan Kirkpatrick. Summers looks like he has the takedown, but Kirkpatrick flips him around, and then he gets the fall in the third period. That'd be enough points for Erie to get the win. Erie takes home the battle on 59 plaque. Red Devils beat the Vikings 36-33. Two high school football standouts from the 4 states make verbal college commitments today. Now, one is first-team All-State in Kansas, the other first-team All-State in Missouri, and both of them will be staying right here in the 4 states. Cooper Simmons, a 2023 first-team All-State linebacker from Colgan, is headed to Pitt State. The future Gorilla announces his commitment on Twitter this afternoon. His senior year with the Panthers, Simmons was an impact player on both sides of the ball, receiving first-team All-CNC honors at both linebacker and running back. Seneca High School senior Morgan Vaughn commits to Missouri Southern. He finished his senior year with the Indians as first-team All-State linebacker to go with being named the Big 8 Conference Defensive Player of the Year. That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
A Joplin couple is going to Las Vegas on Super Bowl weekend, but they started gambling even before getting there. Diehard Chiefs fans Sarah and Josh Schmitz bought their plane tickets even before knowing if the Chiefs would make it to the playoffs. With tickets for the Super Bowl currently at historic levels, the Schmitz will watch the game from a restaurant with friends. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has their story.
Within an hour of the game being over on Sunday, we were like, yeah, we're definitely going.
The Kansas City Chiefs weren't even in the playoffs when Joplin resident Josh Schmitz and his wife decided to buy airplane tickets to go to Las Vegas on the Super Bowl weekend. Even though they know they won't be able to watch the game in the stadium,
The expense of the tickets is going to be so far out of reach.
they didn't want to miss out on the experience.
I think it's going to start from the moment we get off the plane. I'm sure we're going to be seeing Chiefs fans everywhere. It's definitely going to be a Chiefs takeover in Raiders territory.
According to MSSU professor Brian Nichols, the destination is one of the reasons why ticket prices are currently at historical levels.
Vegas is a lot of entertainment, so people are wanting to go there for not only the Super Bowl, but also for some entertainment also.
He says that Vegas being relatively close to San Francisco is another factor that influences the prices. For people willing to spend 5 figures to watch Mahomes playing his 4th Super Bowl in person, Nichols has some advice.
Don't be too early. Maybe wait 3 to 5 days before the game, because there may be, maybe not with this one, but typically there's a little dip in ticket prices, and then you'd still have time to make travel arrangements.
And for those buying tickets online, he has more hints.
Don't go, answer a Facebook ad and give someone, send someone, cash, without seeing the actual tickets.
After all, the goal is having fun.
Chiefs fans travel hard, and they show up, and then you just start seeing, and you just make instant friends because everybody just wants to be like, go Chiefs.
In the 4 states, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey also warned fans to be wary of any suspicious ticket offerings and to take steps to protect yourselves. The advice includes making sure you are buying your tickets from a trustworthy website and using a credit card for the purchase. You can learn more on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, coming up, season 2 of Farmer Wants a Wife premieres tomorrow right here on Fox. We'll get a sneak peek at the new episodes. Farmer Wants a Wife is back tomorrow with first impressions, first dates, and a first look at what's in store. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin visited the show at one of their mixers to bring us a preview of what's coming up in season 2.
One thing that's missing for me is somebody to share all this with.
Farmer Wants a Wife is back on Fox, and we are back on set. And look at this setting.
I know.
For the new Search for Love, and I am here with host Jennifer Nettles. Also, can we say dating coach and matchmaker now?
I mean, I guess so. Put that on the resume.
And let's talk season 2. So, Jennifer, is there love in the air? Already, season 2.
For Farmer Wants a Wife, there is always love in the air. And you find us now a few weeks in. Definitely, we're starting to get to the point within, each season that things start to get real. And people start making real connections. People start feeling that they do have a connection or they don't.
Jennifer Nettles shared how her role as host has grown, given what she learned from season 1.
Based on what I learned last season, I ask more questions, I think, than I do offer advice, because it's them, it's their words, it's their desires, it's their needs that they share with me, that they want from either their farmers, or sometimes the farmers will also offer that as well in terms of what they're curious about or what they're interested in more of from the ladies that are on their farms.
Love gives you somebody to lean on when you need it.
The premiere episode has everyone making their introduction, and Nettles shared a good piece of first date advice.
Especially in this kind of circumstance when everything is super concentrated, and a lot of times, for the first episode of these, there's the speed dating round, and you only get, as they say, one chance to make a first impression. So I think be yourself.
What are we getting ourselves into? Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
All right, that's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of an elephant at the Oakland Zoo bobbing for pumpkins. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.